confused, whacked.
Generation next.
Looking for fun.
Lost.
Slacker. Wild.
Fun. Well-meaning.
Frustrated. Generally pessimistic.
Probably increasingly pessimistic.
Yeah.
Explosive, maybe?
Easygoing.
Intelligent, and media savvy.
To me, a trend is something that has already gathered momentum. We get fads. We get things that all of a sudden become a bit of a hot topic. They come and they go. It's trends are when what was probably a bit of a fad or a bit of a statement actually starts to deliver some more benefits. And therefore it starts to grow to a wider audience.
Usually music trends, in my experience, start in a really word of mouth and organic sort of way. I know that the strongest opinions about music are usually formulated by discussion amongst friends about something they might have checked out or something that they may have found interesting.
Eventually the media catches up, the commercials start integrating whatever extreme thing is going on the street and tone it down like a, fifth generation videotape.
I don't think a big company can mandate trends. They can they can co-opt them and usurp them once they're established.
The first question that we asked the American youth was if we gave them $200, what would they spend it on? And I think the surprise that came in this category of question was a good amount of them said bills or rent or my credit card bill. They were very practical, concerned with making ends meet.
I would pay off my Citibank Visa card because it's overdue.
And instead of spending it on something, say like clothes or something frivolous like that, I think I would definitely have to use it for basic, essential, human need, food, shelter, that kind of stuff.
So the next category we moved on to with the American youth was brand of clothing. Most youth in America today are quite fashion conscious. Whatever their fashion may be, they're aware of it and they care about how they look. Skateboarding in particular seems to be on the rise at the moment. And there are lots of small indie skateboarding clothing brands.
The industry is starting to boom and you're seeing more and more skaters, so I don't know if you really want to, it's like a subculture.
Brand of clothing, I'd probably say Volcom because that's what I'm wearing right now. And I really don't know. Probably the best thing about it is its styles. They have good styles. I like 70s. I like the 70s, and they have a lot of 70s style clothing, and it's surf clothing. It's pretty cool.
The big thing they do buy and wear is secondhand clothes, vintage clothes. The whole retro look has taken off in a big way. I think it's always been there because secondhand clothes are less expensive. I think another big factor in the retro trend is it allows youth to express their individuality.
I mean, there's very few people that are really original in their clothing. There's like fashion leaders and fashion followers. The fashion followers are the majority of the population.
Okay, I have this one it's probably like a vintage 60s shirt. It's like a button down, short sleeve. It's like a burgundy shirt. It just makes me feel cool.
The next big trend in fashion. Well, I think I'm saying it already. I think it's incorporating a lot of past trends in fashion.
The girls all read fashion magazines, and that's one of the main places they get their fashion ideas. They do not seem to look to celebrities for trends these days. People really look to their friends for new fashion ideas, and what they see in shops.
I guess I'll see it like in a magazine or on a friend, and then I'll manipulate it to best suit me and my personality and my style. I almost never will see something and be like, oh, it's me, and do that. But I'll see something and be like, that's a good idea, and then work it so that I feel comfortable in it.
I don't think there's any celebrities that set trends, because, whenever I see the movies, none of them dress up or do anything that we do. They're all set for the stage instead of for real life.
There's a big iced tea trend. The other big trends amongst youth is coffee. Coffee in a huge way has taken off. Everyone's hanging out in coffee bars, and water. More and more people drink water. The really cutting edge trend right now is the mixed slushy frappuccino coffee, which is like ice, milk, and coffee blended up, so it tastes delicious. But it's still coffee, so they're getting their caffeine.
I like coffee. I drink a lot of water. I like coffee and water. I'm so boring.
No, that's not boring.
I don't drink soda. I don't like soda. It's too sweet, and it's the bubbles. Ugh, I can't deal with the bubbles. I'm too old for the bubbles. Ew, God, no, not LA tap water. No. Bottle. Crystal Geyser.
Actually, I like water and iced tea a lot better than Coke and any of the carbonated drinks.
There's a lot of brand loyalty amongst youth for their soda. If they like Coke, and they won't have a Pepsi.
In the morning, she wakes up and has her Coke with her cereal.
I don't eat cereal, I just have Coke.
She just has Coke for breakfast.
Yeah.
Mountain Dew, because, I don't know, there's a lot of caffeine in it, and it tastes good.
If you look at sports among America's youth, they're generally very sporty. The sport they're all dying to try is snowboarding, and second to that, skydiving.
I want to try hang gliding, flying stuff, parachuting and things. That'd be cool. I don't know, because it's thrilling. It just seems less of a commitment. I don't know what that says about me.
I love skating and snowboarding. I just love being out in the air and everything, just pushing yourself to seeing what you can do.
It's dangerous. It's just fun because you're challenging yourself, and you're if you mess up, you can hurt yourself really bad. It's just being able to accomplish things.
A feeling of freedom is actually what I'm looking for, I guess.
Just about every single youth in America says health is extremely important to me. All the kids saying, well, I'm really concerned about my health, and I'll deal with it as soon as I quit smoking.
Health theoretically is really important to me, but I've never been unhealthy, so I take it for granted.
It's important, but it's not very important because I always eat junk food.
I would like to say it's important, but in a way, to me, it's really not, because I smoke about a pack a day. I don't take my vitamins. I eat terribly. I eat fast food every day. I hate vegetables. I hate fruit. I hate anything that's really good for you. I'm cheeseburger queen. So.
Music is incredibly important to the youth of today. I'd say it's the #1 media in their life, way beyond film or any kind of print media. It's an essential part of their daily life.
I loved all kinds of music, and that's the same way I am today. I mean, I like everything from rap to, punk, ska, rave, even to classical. I love classical music. The only music I can't stand is country. I think it sucks. I think it should be taken out of our world.
I think music is very, very important. It's, can really make you feel better or feel worse. I think it has more of an effect on your emotional level than people think.
Youth and the internet. I think that a lot of kids use the internet, and they're using it for absolutely everything. A surprising number of youth said, no, I don't use it.
I don't really know about computer stuff I probably should. I'm getting kind of nervous that I should probably start learning about it because pretty soon it's going to take over everything. I'm not going to know what's going on and I'll be totally lost.
I'm involved with some friends of mine. We like set up web pages, and I mean I look on the internet when I want to find like a new place to go out to eat. You know, like that's how, or anything and everything you can find there. I even tried to get jobs on there.
If you ask an American youth today who they admire or aspire to be like, you'll find that a surprising amount of them name their mother. As far as public figures go, it completely ran the gamut from Jesus Christ to Michael Jordan, so yeah, it's wide open. I think that the qualities that youth admire had some more consistency. I think there's a lot of respect for, you know, strong-willed, independent, true to themselves, total integrity, and have worked really hard to be really good at what they do.
I'd have to go with my mom because she's honest and because of the nose. No, she's just strong-willed and she's a single mom and she raised 3 kids on herself. So I'd have to say my mom.
My mother, probably. She's very intelligent. She's strong-willed. Knows who she is and what she's about, and taught me to be the same, so I admire that.
You can fairly safely say they're very passionate about something. They've got something that drives them.
I'm passionate about life because it's very unpredictable. You don't know how long it's going to be, and I think you need to take advantage of every single day. I know that sounds very trite, but it's true.
I'm really passionate about a few like current issues. Like I get really worked up when I talk about the educational system. That sounds so geeky. I get really worked up. I'm passionate about kids and about making their future into something a little bit less bleak.
What they really hate seem to be very personal qualities as opposed to a global trend.
Ignorance. Prejudice.
I have to say, hate would be right up there. We just hate. I mean, there's a sense. I mean, anger is different. I mean, anger can be kind of a righteous thing, and it can almost be productive in a sense. But hate is kind of blind and it's vicious.
Homophobia really makes me angry, more than almost anything else, because I was raised in part by my lesbian godmothers, and it's an issue really close to my heart, and it's an issue that doesn't get enough attention. Like it's the last excusable bigotry, and it makes me mad.
It would seem that every American youth believes they should be more up to date on what's going on in the world.
I don't know. I just had spring break, so I haven't been paying attention, so I couldn't tell you right now today what is going on.
Even though I read the paper, I haven't lately, so I really don't know much of what's going on right now.
I'm pretty up to date, I think, on what's going on locally, what's going on in popular culture, but I don't know as much as I should about like international stuff.
But I think over the next 10 years, you're going to see people who have no idea of what's going on in their own backyard and whose awareness is very narrow. And I think part of that's going to be a loss of sort of the world view of some people for a few years.
American youth are definitely concerned about the future of their world and their generation. I think there are 2 areas that really emerge as the primary areas of concern. First is the environment.
There's a lot of pollution going on now. Of course, it always has been, but it seems like it's getting worse.
A major concern, before economics, before anything, before war, it would be environment. Environment's very important because we're just killing the planet, and once you kill the planet, we die too.
And the other area, especially with women, but with all the youth in general, was education, or the lack thereof.
I'm concerned about the educational system. I'm going to be a teacher. That's the simplest thing I can think of to do to provoke change. I can't change anybody else's mind, so I just, have to do my part.
I think the most important thing is probably, at least in the United States, is investing in our kids and education. I think that it's gotten really ridiculous and the violence is unbelievable, and I think that comes from lack of education and lack of caring.
When you ask America's youth where they will be in 10 years' time, quite a lot of them have absolutely no idea. The youth that do have a 10-year plan are very conservative.
In 10 years' time, I don't know what I'm going to be doing in 10 days' time. You asked me to perceive the future. Okay, I'll tell you what I'd like to see myself. I'd like to see myself in maybe a 2-bedroom house with a wife, maybe a little kid, maybe one on the way, a little dog in the yard, that kind of thing.
In 10 years, I see myself a good mom.
If we're still married or still together after high school, would you marry me?
Of course.
The youth feel that a real problem facing their generation specifically is an overwhelming amount of information, choice, option, and change.
Doubt, uncertainty.
Drugs.
Yeah.
It's a lot of people turn to it to help their problems.
Self-motivation. A lot of people my age, don't have the desire to go out and do things for themselves. And I see that, and it's sad, And
access to resources, I think.
No, I don't think we're any different from other generations from the past. We're just living in a different time.
I do. I think we're getting close to information overload.
I don't think there really are obstacles. I think it's just up to each individual person to strive to do their own thing, and it's really more just a personal obstacle than a societal obstacle.
One of the largest problems is, I think, the deterioration of the parenting ability.
Part of me says that I'm not sure there are any problems. I think they've just got huge opportunities. If they've got any problem, it's choosing. It's we're over-choiced.
Too much information, you never specialize, you never focus, and therefore a lot of times your scene is lost in sort of, focusless. And when in fact the problem is you're focused on too many things, and therefore you never get good at one thing.
Oversaturation. I think there's an oversaturation in media and the way it distracts and just oversaturates the style, I think, which came out of MTV.
If something makes them laugh, they love it, they remember it. You look at these kids and they get so excited telling you about the funny ad that they love, and they'll act out the whole thing, and they know every line in the commercial by heart. Anything that takes the piss out of the brand, they're going to love that. And also everyday humor, something that they can relate to, something that's really prosaic, the Seinfeld-style humor where nothing's really happening.
Everyday life is funny, I guess. So situations that are ironic or somewhat twisted from the norm, which makes them not totally outrageous, but enough to get a chuckle.
And it doesn't try to fool you into thinking it's a certain way when it's more sort of sincere in its approach rather than saying, well, we're the best detergent.
Okay, an ad that doesn't take itself too seriously. It's definitely, if an ad makes fun of itself, that to me is the coolest thing.
Or not something that insults my intelligence.
It's like probably the Clayman commercial where we took a bit of a pot shot at ourselves. We took the Mickey out of some of the ads that we've done in the past. That's respected by young people because it's like we're laughing at ourselves. So it's been in amongst the joke, sort of thing.
Well, one of the most essential things, I think, is a level of honesty. Pandering down and talking down to youth culture is the biggest mistake you can make.
That it doesn't feel like a marketing campaign. That's the immediate turnoff.
The perception of coolness, and I always think you have to sort of be a little beyond where the mainstream is at any given moment.
They're the most marketed to generation in history. And so they can see a hard sell coming a mile away. So what you've got to be is authentic.
We asked the American youth about their feelings on sponsorship versus traditional advertising. A surprising amount of them really had no idea what we meant. For the youth that were aware of sponsorship, they're definitely very particular about how it's done.
I don't notice it when something is sponsored by so-and-so, like during the Olympics where they go, this event is sponsored by so-and-so. I don't pay attention to that, but I notice when athletes are sponsored, like I can tell you, that Fila has Grant Hill and that Nike has Michael Jordan. So not events really, but definitely individuals.
As long as they don't control and sell out the event, then as long as it remains true to its roots, I really don't have a problem with it.
Like if it's Budweiser sponsoring, I don't know, God knows, a concert, for example, I really don't care. And actually, it will cheapen the concert for me, because it's Budweiser, But if it's a company that I really respect in terms of what they sell, what they're about, what they're trying to say and do, and they sponsor something because it's something that they believe in, it makes me respect the company more, their product more.
I would think more of a company that was just, sponsoring, cool stuff than is having these stupid ads, really cheesy ads trying to, pretend they're cool or something.
And when I use the word sponsor, I mean not like endorsement sponsor, but be involved in. From a creative and production point of view?
Well, sponsorship could become the new advertising of the future.
It's crystal clear that youth in America today really value their individuality. They really believe in being a unique person, and at the same time, they've got a real hive mind. They want to stick with their friends. They want to do what's cool. They want to be where's cool. They want to wear what's cool. So there's a real conflict here.
I think shock value is a big part of it. People like to be remembered, and others like to blend.
Try to be individualistic, but at the same time, I like top brands and stuff like that.
Individuality. Wear it the way you want to wear it. It's a bit like you paint your own picture. We'll give you some tools, we'll give you some elements. Do it the way you want to do it.
No, actually I had red pigtails for a long time, and I saw like 8 girls with red pigtails, and so I took them out. I felt kind of silly.
When you're talking about the youth market, nobody wants to think that they're one of the crowd. Everybody wants to think that they're an individual, and this affects their brand decisions. They don't want to buy the brand that their parents bought. They don't want to buy the brand that they think the majority of people buy. They want to buy something that they feel is underground, something that they feel they discovered themselves.
Everyone wants to be unique like everyone else.